When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
And we are live on your screen this morning, all right, on your phones, on your tabs, we're live. Good morning to you. Welcome to VOP this beautiful Friday morning, reaching you from the city of Lagos, where we're broadcasting from. I'm Moses Humphrey.
And I'm Master Chiyo. I don't know why Moses keeps intimidating me with his outfits. I'm beginning to feel jealous, you know. I don't know why.
I'm African.
You're intimidating me and I don't like it.
I imbibe the African culture.
Yes, you do, and that's too much. It's too much hotness.
Gentlemen, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, good morning, Lagos, Nigeria, and beyond. It's a beautiful morning. And again, let me comment on this outfit. So I want to ask.
I don't go agree for now.
Moses is oppressing us.
They say no grief for. Okay, anyway, there's this report about no grief for anybody. You know, since the beginning of the year, a lot of people have been saying it.
Yeah.
What was the police saying again?
They said it poses threats to the people. The police poses threat to the people. And it's inciting.
Yes,
more
and
like
we might have another second NSAS protest.
Exactly.
Yes, so
but then
we should not stop saying it.
The defense HQ has come out to say
no grief for terrorists,
no grief for bandits, no grief. I mean,
so you see,
I would rather stay with that really, because that is securing the nation, which is the primary assignment of these people.
Of course.
Saying no grief, I think I will not agree for anybody who comes to terrorize me. And you are feeling
that's better.
All right, then. Well, we have the papers. We'll be going into the papers very, very shortly. In fact, as we go into the papers, let's let you into what we'll be talking about today. On the show today, we'll be looking at the decision by the Supreme Court on the fate of 7 governors. All right, that's one of the topics we'll be talking about today.
Yeah, and then the governor, Bala Mohammed, has come out to say that Nigeria can earn Forex by exporting doctors.
There you have it. There you have it. Oh, well, let's, don't forget that you can be part of this conversation, all right?
Yeah, of course. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. So go follow, like, comment on our content, and join the family.
Join the family, join the conversation.
Yeah.
Now let's dive into what we have from the cover pages of the papers.
All right, so moving on, we're starting off with Daily Trust. There's a lot to talk about in the country right now, and Daily Trust has come out to say on the banner headline, security beefed up as Kanu, Plateau, 6 other governors, no fate today. And then the subwriter says, CPS, others call for calm, winners, appellants upbeat, the issues at stake. All right, on top of the nameplate, we have village head, son, 8 others killed in Katsina. Army denies allegation of poor feeding of troops. Bandits abduct 23 in FCT. Worry over 50% TSA deductions from aviation agencies. Educate, don't spare anybody, Obi tells Tinubu. Okay, man arrested for stealing 20 cartons of Quran Hadith in Kwara. Okay, 20 cartons. ICJ hearing. South Africa wants Israel held accountable for genocide in Gaza. And that's all we have for Daily Trust this morning.
All right, now the Edu Gates sounds hilarious. Well, that's what it has become. Everyone is commending the president for this move.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that there is some sort of transparency now.
Yeah.
And the president intends to fight corruption.
Fish out everybody.
Yes, which is what we didn't see in the previous administration.
Oh, well.
In the previous administration, it was more of the president not even being aware when some things have happened.
But again, I look at it from the angle of the fact that it's not just this lady that's been invited for this kind of situation.
Yeah.
A lot of persons have frowned at it. Why use her as a scapegoat? That there are quite some other persons who have had so much around them and that they are not called to books.
But then, if I could recall properly, I think she got the form for the presidential form at a point, right? And then she stepped down for the president. And seeing the relationship, I'm kind of surprised that she's the one being attacked at
In
this.
politics,
She
there
got
are
a
no
presidential
permanent
form.
threat.
Yes.
I'm not certain about that, but
I think she did, and then she stepped down.
I'm also not privy to that. But then,
Yeah.
in politics, you don't have permanent friends. You don't have permanent enemies.
So she's more like a scapegoat right now,
well,
because there's a lot going on around her.
Well, that's why they call for everyone involved to be tried and exposed. That's why we have the court. So if there are other people involved, we'll get to know. We'll get to know. We'll get to know.
And again, one important thing that I think we should also consider is not just inviting these people. People should be prosecuted. One or two persons should go to jail. This way we can say justice is duly served. Because, like it or not, there's the taxpayers' money.
When we talk about going to jail, not a special kind of going to jail, though, like real-time jail. Real-time jail.
All right, then let's get into another paper now. Let me take these headlines from the Punch newspaper.
Okay.
The Punch newspaper has its banner headline: Union, Polaris, Keystone, CBN plans shareholder summit, compiles new directors list. Apex Bank to discuss bank's future with stakeholders. New chairman, EDs to be named soon. And then there's a pictorial there that talks about Nigerian Bar Association protest march. That's what you have on the banner being carried out by the protesters. Assault a lawyer and go to jail. There was a time when. Now this is the rider here is Lagos NBA protesters storm police HQ over brutality against lawyers. There was a time when, if one is driving in front of you, and you see a sticker on their vehicle, I'm a lawyer. You just know, okay, you need to be careful.
Yeah.
Because this person can drag you.
Yeah.
They can literally drag you.
Yeah.
So, but now, what is happening? Is it that we've lost respect for certain professions, that lawyers are being brutalized?
Or is it possible?
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's quite strange because the revered profession of the lawyers is one that not only the police, not only any security agencies, everybody should be able to not only identify with, but respect and love, because they help us to get justice, right? But if we now see that security officers are one time or the other brutalizing these people, and well, we'll talk about the lawyers. I mean, are we also going to talk about how some of our colleagues are brutalized?
Journalists as
Yeah,
well.
journalists.
I mean, we saw that at the past election. So many to talk about. But the truth is, I personally like this protest. It goes a long way to make a statement that, look, however you guys want to do it, stop this. Right?
As long as the protest is
If
peaceful.
you need to educate your people, educate them. I mean, you shouldn't brutalize anybody. So that's really a big one for me. And I am in support of it. I'm totally in support of it.
I particularly think a law enforcement agent should be they should be spoken to. All right, they should be talked to. They should be re-educated.
Yeah, that's
because I think some of them have forgotten what they are there to do. Some of them feel, okay, because they have the guns and they have the
uniform.
Yes, they have the audacity to intimidate. Now there are good ones. All right?
Of course.
There are good ones, but there are those that tarnish the image of the profession.
Yeah.
Let's just respect one another, really, regardless of what profession you're in or
Exactly.
who you are in the society.
Exactly.
Mutual respect.
Yeah.
If you approach someone, I mean, we know how it's done in other climes, where if the police is talking to you, they add please to it. Please step out of the car. Please go there.
I saw one yesterday, and my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to keep the name of the area more.
Okay,
on this
no
part.
problems.
The policeman was practically forcing himself into
vehicle.
the vehicle, where of course the driver was still seated.
Yeah.
They stopped him. He stopped already, and he was trying to force himself into the vehicle. And I wonder, if you do this,
That's embarrassing.
how would the citizen respect you?
That's the thing.
I mean, so much is need to be said here
Yeah.
on the part of security. I honestly think that the government should also do more, right? First off, they need to help these guys with reorientation. Like you mentioned earlier, rightly
That's the
mentioned,
word I was looking for,
It is-
reorientation.
it is best that
Yeah.
these guys are carefully.
And not just anybody should be recruited into
Yes.
the police
Okay.
force or
You know?
the uniformed agencies. Like, you
Not
don't just put
It should
anybody.
be, yes.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we still have some more headlines from the Punch newspaper. We'll take them. But in the meantime, let's join Tosin Ejalonibu, who's on the streets of Lagos right now to feel the pulse of Nigerians. Good morning to you, Tosin.
Good morning, everyone. It's an interesting day today in Lagos. I'm here to get the reactions of people here on what the news headline they find interesting. A couple of things in the news this morning. We have the Supreme Court having their judgment this morning. We have Better Edu is back in the news also. There's news about Ajakuta in the news this morning. But the major one is about the Supreme Court. Our Supreme Court judges, the 7-man panel, are going to be giving the judgment on 8 governorship elections in the state. And I'm here to get the reactions of people on what they think, what interests them in the news this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
What's your name?
I'm Chief Michael Junaka.
Please, what interests you in the news this morning?
I see the reactions about the seven governors about the election, and many of them, I don't think said they win the election. So I want to know how far about it, and they're interested on the news because so many there for that election right from beginning.
Can you talk about one that you find interesting, that's really important to you?
This Lagos State APC, they want to cover all the state by all means. So they do so many magomago to cover it by all means.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You can hear from Chief Mike. The Supreme Court is what interests him this morning, and he's so much concerned about the Supreme Court judgment of the election in Lagos, which is the state where he resides. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tosin.
You feel the pulse of the citizens on the street, and then you ask yourself one question: do they still believe that there is hope for the Nigerian citizenry?
Oh, well, I would like to say in response
For them.
yes, I would like to say yes. Nigerians still believe.
Yeah.
Nigerians still have hope. It's just there's still hope.
That's
It
the only
can
thing that's
only
left
get
with
better.
man. That's about the only thing that's left with the man. I mean, hope for a better tomorrow.
After all, what we have is renewed hope, isn't it?
Yes,
Right.
you're right.
Right.
All right, some more headlines from the Punch newspaper. On top of the banner, please, we have a humanitarian ministry. EFCC summons 20 directors, others. Tension in Kano as Supreme Court decides Yusuf's fate today. Foremost industrialist, Okoya clocks 84.
Oh, wow.
Advises FG on economy. Wow. Congratulations to Okoya there. Sir Okoya. All right then. Some more headlines here. Widows of soldiers killed in 1992 plane crash demand compensation. Netizens mourn as female banker kills self, pens suicide note. TB Joshua made childless couples to exchange spouses. ex-worker. Now, did you guys see the picture, the story of the female worker who took her own life within the banking
Premises.
yes, and then
Yeah.
she cited hardship. I think there's more. There's more to it.
That.
I mean, you have a job.
Yeah.
Was she sacked? Well, I don't have details of the story. I don't know if you.
Same here.
if you-
Same here. I've been trying to see how best I can get and lay my hands on.
Was
the
she
women.
laid off? Because she has a job.
Is he
No,
really?
there's-
Yeah.
No, go, no.
Like you said, she has a job, but most of the times, is it really about having a job? Maybe there's a couple of things that she's going through. Maybe the job is not even paying as well as she expected it to,
But-
and then
but-
she has a lot of family issues. But you still have to just keep working because I
But the
mean you have
truth
to
of the
pay
matter
bills.
is-
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you,
Yes.
David. The truth of the matter is a lot of jobs don't pay
What you're worth.
what you expect them to pay.
Yeah.
Most times, all you have at the end of the day is just transportation. You know, before the end of the month, you are owing again, and then it's
Yeah.
a cycle. There's a story about a lot more people losing their jobs in
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
We'll probably see it in one of the dailies. But is that even enough? You were going to say something. David.
Well, you know what I want to say here is so first let's identify the situation around the country. If for now you are earning a particular figure, what you're left to do is to tell yourself the truth. Living above your means at this time is not safe anymore. I mean, I'm not even talking having 2-3 streams of income. That's even far from it. But you would try. You need to try.
Do Nigerians even live above their income right now? Like with
Jesus,
the way the country
a
is.
lot does. A lot does.
Okay.
A lot does. A lot does feel the money comes, let's just spend it, and but you know it's just what it is. Common sense is not common. Just cut your quote according to your material, right? And that's what I can say.
You know something? I was somewhere some time back.
Yeah.
And it was like a restaurant.
Okay.
You know, and then I was overheard the worker, the lady who served me. I overheard her having a conversation with a colleague, and she was talking about how much she was being paid. Apparently, what started the conversation was the person. You know, they have like an agent that get the job, and an agent gets something at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now the agent that got her the job came there. He came there to demand for his money.
Okay.
And you know there was this shouting. They talked at each other, and then the guy left in anger that he was going to come back and he must get his money. So when he left, she started, explaining to her colleague that imagine he promised her accommodation. There is no accommodation. That what they have here is a store where they get to sleep. Mosquitoes, they don't even have. They have just one window. There's no fan, and then mosquitoes. That it's just suffering. And how much is she even collecting? She's collecting 25,000 naira, and then he wants to collect a percentage of it.
Most of them collect 50%.
15%, and
50,
thereabout.
50.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And
I know that
in my
one very
head,
well.
I'm like, you're earning 25,000 naira after 30 or 31 days,
Is that for transportation
and
or
you still have to
feeding?
give this guy for the next 6 months part of it. How much then do you have to take care of yourself?
Wow.
Oh well.
Wow.
Oh well. Let's. Okay. Well, those are the headlines. Those are the headlines we have from the Punch newspaper.
Okay.
And I think we have Tosin again, trying to feel the pulse of Nigerians in Lagos City. So, hello, Tosin, please. Let's see their faces and hear their voices. I mean, this is voice of the people.
I'm still here live in Ikeja, under bridge, here in Lagos, the commercial capital of the country. And I'm still trying to get reactions of people. What in the news this morning? And I'm here with, what's your name, sir?
Mr. Additional Akim.
Mr. Deshino, what interests you in the news this morning?
A lot. We have the Supreme Court will be delivering judgment on the election in Kano, Lagos, and we'll be delivering judgment on an election in Lagos, Kano, and Plateau. You see, the problem is this. Why should we allow court to be determining the winner of our election we are still lacking behind when it comes to the issue of election. We should allow people to choose their leaders, and if election is conducted, a winner must emerge, but not an issue where matter will be taken to court. It is the court that will determine a winner. We have not even got it right when it comes to the issue of election, and that's just my concern. We cannot just continue to allow the court. If it is the court that, then why are we wasting money on election? If it is the court that will determine who will be the winner of an election, it's because we are not doing things properly, and that's why we are in this mess, and that's one. And the issue of this Edugate, you see, is another area of concern. Is, to me, I see it as a distraction, a kind of state managed. Nothing will come out of it. That's just it. They are just diverting attention from the main issue, because they have not addressed the main issue, the issue of high cost of living, the issue of high cost of transportation. You can see we are not asking them to build bridges across Atlantic Ocean. That's not what we are saying. We are saying they should give us a minimum standard of living. Let us have the light. Let us have a job. Let us have a good schools. Let us have a good education, a good health system. That is just thing we are demanding. Look at the resources at their disposal, both materials and women, and they cannot be able to deliver on those little things. We are not asking too much from them. And you see, this government, I just don't know. I don't know. It's even a pity that it's happening under Tinubu that has been in opposition. Is he saying that he doesn't know what is going on before? That is not the issue. Let it be addressed the main issue. This one, 500 pay to private, not today. It has been, if you know the kind of corruption that's going on in this particular government, you pity this country. Therefore, all this one is just a diversion of attention. That's just my reality. It's just a diversion, because nothing will come out of it. Nothing will come out of it. That's my stand.
Thank you very much, sir. And you can hear him, Lagos. Is so much concerned about the Supreme Court judgment that we are going to have today. About 8 states are going to be determining whether their governor stays or not. The Supreme Court will be determining that. And also, it's concerned about the Edugate. It's also concerned about the cost of living of the country. And now the president can help stabilize the economy. Back to the studio.
All right, thank you so very much, Tosin, for that one. And looking at that particular one, the man there is actually particular about the Edugate. He's saying nothing is going to come out of it. But let's just get into more papers. Quickly, let's dive into Vanguard newspaper, where the banner headline is also on Edugate. It says, APC governors, Peter Obi backs Tinubu on probe. And then the subwriter there says, governors ask Nigerians to be patient as Tinubu takes final decision after investigation. As APC professionals support president over president's move to send strong signals to government officials. Also still on the subwriter, don't spare anybody, Peter Obi tells Tinubu. And then above the nameplate there, you see, no grief for anybody, lawyers fault police. Cautions as army adopts slogan to fight insurgents. Now that is a very, very interesting one. Still there above the nameplate there, you find on 2024 budget, how we settled for 800 naira to a dollar exchange rate. That's coming from the federal government. Also, you find there above the nameplate, you find Nigeria can't make progress without true federalism. Who is saying that? Obong Atta has that to tell us. All right, still giving you stories there at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. New bank CEOs boost confidence. This is coming from NECA and, of course, Ask Phoebe, analyst coming to clear the airways there. And then on attacks, Governor Alia bars local government chairman from leaving domains. On the alleged 6 billion naira fraud, ex-power minister Agunloye gets 50 million naira bail. Okay. All right. Still give you more on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. 32-year-old bank staff commits suicide over harsh economy. That really is a sad one. And then Owe Lekamfa, yeah? Okay, he has an editorial there. And then on sports, AFCON 2023, another injury scare for Super Eagles as Umar Sadiq misses training. Well, that's about it for the Vanguard newspaper. I honestly want to talk about this part where the security agencies came out to say, we started with it this morning anyways, where the police is cautioning Nigerians to not use those words. And then the lawyers are coming. The lawyers are coming for them. So I think every citizen have the right to how they express themselves. I mean, coming to tell them, look, this part of you expressing yourself is bad or faulty.
I mean, every year, each religious gathering get to have their slogan for the year.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's the reason why Nigerians have decided to have our own slogan for the year.
I think that's like a street coin. No grief for anybody. So street credibility is still what it is.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. As I said earlier, the only issue here is it being taken out of context.
Yeah.
There's the fear that it might be taken out of context where, young people can resort to violence in the name of no grief for anybody. I think that's the fear of the police. But to now make it into to now say that people should not use it as I don't think.
But then
can we just look at it in its totality, right? If some persons are saying no grief for anybody, don't you think is an act of saying, I'm tired already, and then you're still pushing me, and then I want to react, and then I think I should react. Do you understand? I mean, that's what I feel anyway.
You know what?
All right, then.
Let's leave it as it is. Moving on to Daily Independent this morning.
I think we should just, because of time, we should just wrap the show up. Wrap this part.
Oh my God, Moses wants to go home already. Why?
We should wrap the newspaper review up and get into the proper discussion for today. All right. We do have for this morning. It will be
There's a lot to talk about this morning.
Yes, there is a lot to talk about.
I mean, the fact that fingers are crossed as the Apex Court delivers judgment on 7 governors on their fate today. Let's discuss this when we return.
Well, the Supreme Court sets to deliver its judgment on 7 governorship appeals. The states are Lagos, Kano, Zamfara, Plateau, Ebonyi, Bauchi, and Cross River states. Now, reports have it that the Apex Court's decision on the governorship election appeals are the final, of course. Now, judgments on the Kano and Plateau appeals are the most anticipated, given that the lower courts had sacked the incumbent governors of these states. Now, counsel representing the parties in the appeals from the 2 states vigorously argued their cases at the Apex Court, seeking to persuade the justices on why the outcome should favor their clients. In the Kano appeal, the tribunal had nullified the election of Governor Abba Yusuf of the New Nigeria People's Party after declaring 165,663 of his votes invalid. The tribunal held that the deducted votes were from ballot papers that were neither stamped nor signed. Now, the appeal court upheld the tribunal's decision and faulted the lower court for not disqualifying the governor. Now, the appellate court said the governor was not properly sponsored by the NNPP, thus violating the provisions of Section 177C of the Constitution. Oh well, joining us virtually. Both our guests are virtual guests this morning. We have Nick Agule, who is a chartered accountant and a public affairs commentator. And we also have John Akirile, who is a journalist and, of course, a public affairs commentator. Now, I do understand that John has joined the conversation. All right, so let me start with John now. Good morning to you, John. Now, looking at the case of Kano, what are your expectations?
Good morning, Moses. Good morning to Mr. Nick Agule and every other person in the studio, and to all of our viewers that are watching. Moses, I think I need to start on this note.
Before you start, John, I've been meaning to say this. I hope you're safe where you are. I hope you're safe. I'm
safe. I'm good, cold. Good. Only that is freaking cold, but I'm good.
Thank you very much.
So, go ahead, please. That being said, Moses, one thing that I think we need to make our political class understand is that a political party is the vector to which you can be elected into any political space or office. And so when such issues of technicalities are coming up after election, it shows that the political parties as entities have failed in their own responsibility. How can this bring up a case that you have nominated a candidate from your party, you have campaigned vigorously, you have won the election, and now they are taking your candidate to court on the basis of technicality that within your party, such a candidate was not nominated properly? And that shows the lackadaisical attitude that our political class have. And I think whatever comes out from the Supreme Court judgment, it will be a lesson for generations yet unborn to know that as a political party, you need to do all that you need to do this democracy that we are clamoring for as a society and as a country must first be seen, evident in the political classes, in the political parties. And as such, if political parties are able to, hold on to their own ideologies and go through all of their constitutional provisions and they abide by it, you will see that our courts will have lesser cases about election tribunal to be dealing with. Why? Because most of these cases are showing to you that our political parties have failed in their responsibilities. All they want is just the money bag and how they can share campaign funds along with themselves and the associates. And after election is gone, they leave the contestants or the applicants to start dancing a shameful dance, from moving from one court to another court. From Supreme Court now, that will be the final verdict. But whatever comes out from the Supreme Court, you can never, give or preempt the court as to what the judgment will look like. But what I can say to you, Moses, is that Supreme Court judgment so far that I know have been shocking. And whatever that comes out again will also be shocking to Nigerians and to all of us. But most importantly, our political leaders, our political parties should learn a lot of lessons from the 2023, both presidential, state, House of Assembly, senators, and all other elected positions should understand that going forward, all of these errors need to be corrected. And then each and every political party must come back to the awareness level of educating their members about their ideology, their philosophy, and those tenets that hold their party as a party. And so all of these cases can be avoided, and then we can have a smooth sail in a democratic process.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mr. John. Mr. Nick, I'm going to come to you almost immediately. In the impending Supreme Court judgment on the 7 governorship appeals, how might the outcome significantly impact the political landscape of these 7 states? Mr. Nick, I'm on you on this.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to stand on the existing protocols that have already been set by my co-panelist and good friend I have met on VOP, John Akerele. I think if I see in the background where he's sitting, he must be somewhere in the UK. So I think he's very safe, Moses. Now, coming to the question that these are the kind of things that I look at and I say, why are we so unfortunate? You see a place in pictures and you can exactly tell where that person is. Why is Nigeria not made this beautiful? So that anywhere you see a picture like that, you say, okay, yes, that must be Nigeria. It looks quite fine. We can get it done, So in response to the question, I want to lay some background. First and foremost, that today we are expecting the Supreme Court to adjudicate on 7 governorship elections. It's a testament to the broken process of our elections in Nigeria. It shows that the electoral umpire, INEC, is not doing a good job, because this shows that INEC is like a student who failed exams and they have to take it again, or another teacher had to take them again to direct on how they can cross that threshold of a pass. It also shows that elections in Nigeria are something that instead of the voters, the electorate, being the deciders or being those who will crown their leaders, it is now the judiciary in Nigeria that is now crowning leaders, which is an anomaly, because in a normal democracy, the people are the ones who should choose leaders. It shouldn't be the courts that should be doing that. And it also shows that we have a long way to go in terms of electoral reforms. Look at what is happening now. This is January. This is January 2024. The people whose fate will be decided today came into office on May 29th, 2023. And someone is in office for this long, and yet he is not sure whether he's be the governor for 4 years or not. And this kind of problem, which has been created by either our electoral laws and the umpire, could have easily been solved if the electoral umpire did not decide that they will go and conduct elections in February and March. Electoral umpire is conducting elections in February and March of 2023 in those they declare victorious in May. If the electoral umpire simply had conducted these elections in November of 2022, the whole of these legal processes would have been finished before candidates would then be sworn in May of 2023. So you see, in Nigeria, we use our hands to cause a problem, and then we spend the whole time trying to solve that problem. So for me, on an overall basis, what I'm saying is that those who are in the National Assembly today, the president who is on seat today, they have to take this thing as their job being cut out for them. Nigeria cannot continue with this type of ignominy, whereby people are elected into office, they sit in office for 6 months, more than 6 months, and yet we don't know whether they are the ones who will be elected or not. And then you look at cases like in Kano State, where the governor, the appeal court removed the governor because INEC failed to carry out his own job. If INEC fails to carry out his own job, why should that then be the reason why the people wanted to be their governor is now going to be removed from office? So there are fundamental things that we have to resolve, and to answer your question directly, how is the political landscape going to change? Of course, the political landscape is going to change, especially in the 2 states that are in focus. And those states are Plateau and Kano. Because for these 2 states, the appellate court actually removed the governors. And so if the Supreme Court agrees with the appellate court's decision, we are going to have new governors in Plateau and Kano State. And the implication of that is that, first, Plateau and Kano State will immediately join the ranks of states that now conduct off-cycle election to elect their governors. And that is the thing that we also talked about, the risk. Because, look, the way we are doing this thing now, even the presidential election is risked being an off-cycle election. Because, for instance, if the Supreme Court had removed President Tinubu when he was in presidential, it can be solved easily by conducting elections early enough to allow the courts to decide before you swear in candidates that both the electorate and the courts have said are the winners. So there's a lot of work to be done in the National Assembly and the presidency in terms of constitutional amendment to ensure that these kind of anomalies are no longer there. And the people arm of government are the ones that have to twist the arms of the people who are representing us in the National Assembly and the presidency to get this done.
All right, thank you so much. So, Mr. John, now I'm going to moving away from this. The National APC chairman yesterday has come out to say that their target is to make sure that they get enough legislators and the governors into APC. And we're seeing what's playing out in these different cities that their fate will be decided today. Now, my question is, should we be looking forward to a one-party system?
If we look forward to a one-party system, that is the end of Nigeria. There will not be a country called Nigeria again. You know why?
Why?
Because those who are in power will have their say, and the majority will have their say, and those elites will have their way. And it will be a zoo. Anything goes. As far as in the party, even if you steal money, EFCC will parade you on media and leave you alone. All right? And if you look at why should you have a one-party system? It is dangerous. It is not sane. It is not advisable for developing an economy like Nigeria. May I let you know that Nigeria is the energy of the world. In terms of human capacity and manpower, young population in their productive age, Nigeria has got one of the highest numbers. And as such, if we go to the route of a one-party system, what you are saying is that this present administration can do whatever they like. And if you are not in the party, you hold your peace forever. There will be anarchy. There will be chaos in the land. And so we need to have either a two-party or three-party system. Why is that important? My dear, even in a global economy that is stable, they have competition. They have good competition. So when you have ideas, look at the Americans. When they campaign based on ideas, ideology, programs. But when we campaign on road, bridge. And you want to have a one-party system in that kind of environment. You also have a one-party system in a country that is multidimensionally poor. A country where the political elites are far from the reality. A country where the political leaders do not even care about the masses. A country where a professor is synonymous to a church rat. Even the church rat is even the child and the professor in Nigeria. And so you want to create a one-party system, it means you want to kill the people. And when the people revolt to you, there's problem and chaos in the land. In fact, it will be our own case will be far worse than that of Syria. Gaza will be learning when our own will start. So I want to call out to the present administration, in as much as you're having your way, it's your time, enjoy it. But never you scold everybody into that box of coming into your party. Not everybody will be a member of your party. Let everybody have their free will to stay wherever they want to stay. You can canvass wherever, the likes of Daniel Bala, and you can go. But that's not a problem. Yes. But let's have a vibrant opposition that can checkmate everybody. That's equilibrium. You know, it will be shaking until we get a balance.
We have a lot of people moving from other parties to the APC. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. We had Bala. He moved from Labour Party to PDP to the APC, and we have people resigning, moving to the APC. So should we say, is that really something? Is that not something that should be worried about? People are really moving.
Let me tell you something. That's why in Nigeria, if you want to go into politics, make sure that you are stainless. All right. Make sure you are stainless. Because to a large extent, when they dig out facts about you, they see something that they can nail you with, and that's what they will show you on the placard. Either you join our party and your sins are forgiven, or we bring this against you and we nail you. And so the likes of Daniel Bala, a very good person that I respect so much, eloquent, brilliant, and sagacious. But then, that tells you that most people at times do not have their own ideology. They do not have their own moral value. They say A to you today, and tomorrow they are saying B to you. I wonder how Daniel Bala will stand on a TV program and then talk about President of Bala Tinubu. And these are people that do not remember. Maybe they've forgotten that the internet does not forget. The same as Femi Fani-Kayode. So you see that today they are in PDP, the next time they are in APC, and they move like that is the color of a politician, even their spokesperson. Do you understand? They will say to you that they are doing their job. So they were paid to be a spokesperson. And so that job has been concluded. And in all sincerity, the job is been done. But that shows to you that where does the ideology of these political parties lie? Why did they move from APC to PDP? He didn't move to PDP because of PDP. He moved to PDP because of Atiku Abubakar. And for the project of President 2023. Now, since that project 2023, to me, it seemed concluded and they failed. And so he felt my assignment here is done and dusted. Let me go back to where I can get a new assignment. And that's what he has done. So for me, I see him as a business person who is looking for a way to make ends meet. But at the same time, that is sending a wrong signal to the younger generation that you are someone that we cannot follow. Today you are white, tomorrow you are black. We don't even know the color that you belong to. And then you can see that the likes of Daniel Buwala are learning from our Oga, Minister Wike in person. Do you understand? So some of them, you don't even know where they belong. Either they are in PDP or they are in APC. Some of them, they move from PDP to APC. Some from Labour to APC. From APC to Labour. So that movement has always been like that. One thing is common, and that's at the center of it, is what is in it for them, not for the people. So until we get to a point as a country where we have leaders that are selfless, who will always ask, what is in it for the people, and not what is in it for themselves.
All right, then. Well, we have joining us in the studio, we have Dr. Olawale Olatubi. Good to have you join this conversation.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Ma. Good morning.
Now, we are not preempting the courts, of course, but how do you, there seem to be, well, Nigerians on the street have been saying that there is an influence playing out here, influence of the executive having a hold on the judiciary. No matter how much they try to deny it, there seems to be an undertone of an influence playing out here. Do you think, if that is true, do you think it will affect the elections in the states?
People are waiting for the verdict of the judiciary today, and anything the judiciary says can make or mar these two states involved. I think Jos and Kano State.
Actually, 7.
Seven.
Yes.
But you know, the two major states we are
Major states,
focusing on is actually Jos and Kano, because Jos and Kano, the two governors, were actually being expelled by the lower court. And one thing I used to say is this, that
Go ahead.
one thing I would say is that the executive over time have actually been proving to us that they have been interfering in the judiciary for a long time. People no longer trust the judiciary again in the country because they feel that once the judge is there, probably they are being tipped by. You can remember when it was time for presidential election, when they said there was a meeting between the CGN and Tinubu backdoor. They had to come out. And, if there had not been traces of this kind of things, they won't come out and say that. So the judiciary needs to stand on its own and be firm on their decision without any interference from any executive, any party, either executive or anybody.
And the decision should be clear enough for Nigerians to see that yes, this is white and black is black.
See, if the decision is clear enough, I'm very sure people will not fight. But when people start seeing irregularities, you start seeing fight. Because one thing about democracy is this, the choice of the people. What people went there to vote, and it was very glaring that NNPC actually, ANPP, that's actually voted in who they wanted in for Kano State. NNPP, right? NNPP. They voted who they wanted in for Kano State. And when I come and say, okay, your people's choice is no longer valuable again, it's like what the judiciary wants.
But how about the position of the political parties themselves? Not about. I mean, Nick did say something in that regard. The political parties, one can say, they didn't even make it. I mean, they didn't even make their chances good enough by not dotting the I's and crossing the T's and making sure that things are properly done within the party.
We need to even have a proper democratic and electoral education. Even the political parties don't even really understand the processes of election. They just give them memorandum. They just think it's just normal class captain election you want to do. There are processes you take for you to go through a normal electoral. So the political parties, either APC or PDP, they have irregularities in their choice of candidates. Irregularities in actually supporting, actually funding. That's why there were loopholes. Now we need to actually focus. The next election is coming 2027. What we need to do is this simple. All political parties need to really, really understand how this election is being done. We need to have a reform of the electoral law. Now, most of this constitution we're having in Nigeria were 1999, when technology was not really, really advanced. Now, we're in the age of social media. Now, a lot of things are happening and we are all seeing it. Now, why everybody is now seeing it? Because of the age of social media. Without social media, before 1999, 2001, who knows what is happening in the election? Everyone just say, okay, we'll go and vote. Now, we need to sit down, reform the electoral law, the constitution, and try to make sure that education of the political parties is very, very important. The political parties will be the one to educate their own members. Whereas everybody will now be well informed. But when the political parties is not well educated, how will the members be educated? How will even the electorate be educated about how to go through election? Now, election was done by February last year. Now, someone said, one of the analysts said they should have done it by November or so. One thing I would say is this: even if they had done the election 2021, it will still going to take this long period for them to still have this judicial. So what I need to say is this: after election, the process between any judicial this thing, if you are not having complete, it shouldn't be more than 3 months. Election was done by February. They inaugurated by May. Before August, September, everything that has to do with electoral irregularities, if you are not okay, we go to court, everything within 3 months, so that the present government can have time to focus on the government.
I'm going to take you on that. When you said the present government needs to focus, shouldn't we be particularly concerned about the development of these states rather than chase after this kinds of delay when it comes to election decision?
Mr. David, they say politicians are all selfish. I said it on the politicians, they are all selfish. They are all about their own selfish interest. They don't really even put we, the citizens, in their mind. Everything they are doing is just to make sure that they get into power. They don't want to care about you that has come to vote for them or who they are coming to serve for. Now, if a politician is there, having power as a governor, and I'm having issues, don't come to, you're not meant to be in power today, there's a court. Any politician that want to chop money, that want to embezzle money within that time, they will quickly clear everything they want to clear because they know that they have limited time. Because they know that after today now, the court might say any politician that want to embezzle anything, they can quickly embezzle. They want to sign anything, they will sign into law. And it will not even give them the authority to, the power to work more. Because when there's interference from here, interference from there, like, okay, if I do this now, after 2 months or 3 months, they will remove me.
All right then. As we make to wrap up, let's quickly get concluding thoughts from Nick and John. Nick, please go ahead. You first.
Yeah. So my concluding thoughts are that Nigeria is a beautiful country. We cannot continue trampling this country on the ground, setting a nail on the country's neck, making the country unable to breathe. And there are certain things that we just need to do, very simple things. For instance, the electoral process. You cannot have a democracy if the electoral process is flawed. You cannot have a democracy where it is the courts that decide who the leaders, the political leaders will be, and not the votes of the people. So I'm not a fan of the Constitution of Nigeria. I actually think that we need to dump it and then produce a people-led constitution. However, even if it is this constitution that we have now, let the electoral law be changed. All the issues that we saw in the 2023 election should result in bids for the amendment of the Constitution and the Electoral Act so that in the next cycle of elections, we can get it right.
All right, thank you very much, Nick Kagude, chartered accountant and public affairs commentator. John, please, your concluding thoughts.
Yeah, my concluding thought, Moses, is very simple. It's just that our political parties should not be seen to be active during electioneering time. And after elections, they go back docile. Yeah. This is a time for them to engage citizens. This is time for more education. This is time for more awareness. This is time for them to introspect, look at their constitutions, look at those loopholes, look at how they can be corrected, and how they can keep educating Nigerians about democracy. Democracy is the best, but the form that we practice in Nigeria is the worst form of democracy. But in all, God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria indeed. Let's move on to another topic now.
Yeah, of course. And the second topic says that the fact that Nigeria can exploit the new trend, the popularly called Jaba, to earn foreign currencies. Who is saying that? The governor of Bauchi State. Details in a moment. Welcome back. And moving over to Bauchi State, where the governor has proposed another means of earning more and says instead of worrying about the continued exodus of medical doctors abroad, Nigeria can exploit a new trend popularly called Japa to earn foreign currencies. Now, Bala Mohammed said this. Said since Nigerian doctors are more valued abroad, the government should train more doctors and export them abroad to get repatriation of money. He made the proposition on Tuesday in Abuja when he paid a courtesy visit to the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. That's TED Fund. According to a statement on Wednesday by TED Fund, the Bauchi governor visited to solicit financial support for his state-owned College of Education, technical, newly established by the government. Reflecting on the Japa trend, Mohammed said there was no need crying over spilled milk. Last year, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors said no fewer than 1,417 of their members relocated abroad in search of greener pastures. We still have in the studio Dr. Olowale Olatunbi, and then virtually we have Mr. Nick Agule and Mr. John Akerele. So I'm going to start off with the doctor in the house so that he will tell us what he thinks about this whole thing. I mean, now the governor is saying that doctors should be shipped to abroad after studies here, like just to, you know, since it's more, they are more valued abroad than here. What do you think about this? Do you approve? I mean, you're a doctor, so what's your take on it?
You see me smiling. Let me first laugh for like 10 seconds.
I got excited.
No, it's a laughable matter. In the 21st century, the governor comes out and starts saying we want to export doctors in exchange of money. It's laughable. It's an insult to the medical profession. It's an insult to humanity. A big insult. What should be the focus of the government now is to make sure that there is enough doctors in ground. We have enough doctors on ground, let me tell you.
We do.
A lot of doctors are still around. A lot.
But it doesn't seem so.
But what we are having, hospitals are going down. They're closing their doors.
Let me tell you something. Every hospital wants to recruit doctors.
Okay.
They come out and say they want to recruit doctors, but they have only space for maybe 4 or 5 doctors to come in. And when you go for interview, you see over 50 doctors, 100 doctors going in for interview. When they recruit only 4. And the government will come out and say, we don't have doctors. No, the room, the employment portion they give them, maybe 4, 5. We have a lot of doctors in Nigeria that are still in Nigeria. Do you know how many doctors we have in Nigeria? A lot of doctors. But the thing is this, are you making this employment catchable for them to come? Is this something that they can actually focus on? that okay, let us come in and let us make sure that this money we are collecting, their salary, is it competitive enough?
Okay.
Imagining you want to give it, people think that doctors are the highest paid. Doctors are collecting money. No, Nigerian doctors are not. They are the lowest paid compared to their other counterparts abroad, out of the country.
What's an average amount a doctor earns? Averagely, across board.
Across board.
Yes.
We said this thing before, and last time I said, you guys laughed at me like, that's much. Okay.
Across board.
Okay, for entry
General
level.
hospital, private.
For entry level,
Entry
level, at least 160 or 170,000.
170,000.
Yeah.
After 7 years.
It's not up to 200,000.
After the school
Entry level.
fees.
Entry level.
Wow.
I mean, the wow just came.
Okay. All right. Well, we have. Let's go to Nick now. Nick, is this laughable? Do you think the governor was joking, or is this the mindset of, since we are, and let's just export everything? If we cannot export cocoa, if we cannot export the mineral resources, let's export the humans in Nigeria and make money.
Yes, I believe that the governor is a joker. I believe that he himself knows that what he said is a piece of comedy fit for Nollywood. Because even if you look at the practicalities, let's say the Nigerian government decides that, or even him in Bauchi State as a chief executive, let us say he decides that he's going to train doctors in Bauchi State and export them to, say, the UK. How is that going to happen? He spends money to train these doctors, maybe an MBBS degree, 6 years, 7 years, and then when the doctors go to the UK, what sort of contract is he going to have between himself and the hospital that the doctor is working in the UK? Is it that the doctor will earn salary and willingly send the money back to the Bauchi State government, or is it that the hospital in the UK will deduct the doctor's salary as source and send it to the Bauchi State government? Either of those options are not feasible. Why? Because a doctor that goes to the UK and is working, he has his bills to pay. You now say, you must send part of your money. What is going to force that doctor to send part of his money back to Bauchi State? Nothing. And if the Bauchi State government approaches a clinic hospital and says, this doctor was trained by us, we want to send him to you so that you will be sending us part of his salary, UK government will charge Bauchi State government for slave trade. That is what you mean by slave trade. That means you are trading in human capital. You are trading in human beings. You are selling human beings, and so that you can make profit out of it. So these are the quality of people we have in office in Nigeria. Misinformed people, totally uninformed, ignorant, with no vision, nothing. Because you would have expected that this man, if he knew what he was doing, he would have rather been looking at what are the reasons that are making Nigerian doctors to Japan. What are the reasons? And then advising, he didn't even need to advise. He is chief executive of Bauchi State. So he could have put a sterling healthcare process, in place and pay doctors well, make them live lives equivalent to what their colleagues abroad are living. And then we will come to a point where Bauchi press point to see, you say, all other governors, look at what Bauchi State is doing. They are treating their doctors so well that their doctors are not jackpying to anywhere. That is what you expect for someone like this to be saying. But this kind of thing, but you see, I don't blame him. Why I don't blame him is that these are the kind of characters that are leading Nigeria. His colleagues in the National Assembly, because this guy was once a senator, I think, before he became FCT minister. His colleagues in the National Assembly, their solution to the brain drain by doctors in Nigeria was that they wanted to pass a law to force doctors not to travel abroad. when they graduate, they must remain in Nigeria. Imagine the thinking that goes on in the heads of Nigerian leaders. And you know, it's that same National Assembly that once wanted to pass a law that if they kidnap your person, and the security agencies, as we know, are always talking without doing anything, and you want to now go and pay ransom so that you can get your person freed. You know, these people in the National Assembly were trying to pass a law that they will criminalize the process of ransom paying. So you, the traumatized person whose relative is in captivity, they will arrest you, try you, and put you in jail. So you will be in jail, your own relative will be in captivity. Instead of talking to the security agencies and reading the riot act to them to say, look, if you don't stop criminality, we're going to sack you. So that's the kind of Nigeria that we have. We have the most timid people in leadership position. They look at problems, they can't solve them. Like electricity now, we know electricity is not there just because we're not generating enough. Instead of them to deal with electricity supply, they will just be talking about this, that. But you see why? These guys are in office and they are doing this thing because the fourth arm of government, the people arm of government, is still sleeping. We want the people arm of government to wake up. Because even in the UK there, where John is, you will discover that the people arm of government are the ones that put so much pressure on the leaders that the leaders cannot deliver this kind of pedestrian governance that we are seeing in Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Mr. Nick. Mr. John, I'm going to come to you almost immediately. Now, the governor of Bauchi State, in his words, implies that rather than see this exodus of brain drain as a loss, we should see it as a gain. Now, my question to you is, how do you think this perspective of his is going to reshape the national dialogue on brain drain and talent retention in Nigeria?
It's so sad. I'm really saddened by that statement. It shows you, just like Mr. Nick said, the kind of people who are at the position, aims of affairs, who are giving directives, who are making policies. And it's a call out to all Nigerians. If you're a professor and you say you don't want to go into politics, a dropout will be your senator. And he'll be the one giving out policies for you. And those policies will affect your well-being, will affect your livelihood, will affect your pay, will affect your pension, will affect your health, education, and every other thing around you. And so it's a call to Nigerians, well-meaning, brilliant Nigerians, that the time to come into politics is now. All right? So that we don't have this set of brainless people who do not even know what to say as a chief executive officer of a state. I wonder how these kind of people go outside Nigeria to embarrass us the more. A governor. I think it should be ashamed. The Nigerians are even moving out in drone. It shows that the leadership have failed. I think all of our leaders generally should be taken in a private jet and they should be taken to the North Pole. Take off their clothes, take off their singlet, and let them be with boxers. Just drop them there. And once they will start confessing all that they have done. Because I don't see somebody who is in a proper state of mind, who is in a stable state of mind, who is mature both physically and in mind, who come out and utter such a statement. What becomes of the health situation of the people of Bauchi State as a governor? So all your governors should move out to other countries. Now, who will now treat the people of Bauchi State? What is the signal you are sending to the young ones who want to go into health profession? What are the signals you are sending to those ones who are in schools presently studying medicine? Are you saying that they study medicine, they finish that, they get out of the country? Then who are those that will not treat the population of Bauchi people who are not even self-sufficient when it comes to healthcare? What is the index figure for Bauchi State in healthcare in Nigeria? And yet a governor who have the money to buy SUVs, but they do not have money to give a good working environment for their medical doctors, for their professors. Failed people. And I think Nigerians should understand now that when they give you 2 cups of rice and you vote for somebody, these are the people kind of who you vote for. And they just don't care about you. They are not even creative. Moses, are you not shocked? When I speak to other leaders of the world, when I hear them talk, I'm inspired that these are leaders. But when my own leaders open their mouth to talk, I cry for my country. I'm even ashamed to stand with Nigerians sometimes. Because these are people that represent us are just a bunch of brainless people who have no iota of idea, no creative ability. They are just dumb ass people. They are doctors with jackpot. What is Bauchi having in terms of agricultural produce? Do you know the amount of minerals in Bauchi State? Do you know the amount of things that can be exported in terms of agro products in Bauchi State? Do you know the enormous wealth they have in terms of tourism? All of that have been left untouched, and yet you have a sitting governor gallivanting in his SUV. I think that they should have a picture of Akeredolu hanged in their four walls, in their houses and their offices. So that when they see him every day, they sit up here every day, they will have sense and remember that a time is coming when they will also be no more. What will people say about them as a sitting governor, or as ex-governor, or as ex-senators? I think the time for us to think as the people is now. And as leaders, we should understand that whatever we say has implications on our family, on our state, on our country, and it does not speak well of us as a people. These are people should not misrepresent us. Rather, we should look at Bauchi as a state holistically. What are those things that Bauchi have in terms of natural resources? How can it be tapped? How can we bring in private-public partnership to make sure that some of these areas thrive? How can we make Bauchi State more secured? How can we increase our agricultural produce? How can we engage our farmers more? What are the funds that are needed? These are questions that you should ask. These are questions that creative minds ask, not brainless people.
Well, it's obviously a passionate one there. One would think of what actually was going through the man's mind when he was speaking. Who was he having a conversation with before he picked up the microphone? Where was he coming from? Because that should be whatever he said was probably a product of conversations that must have been held before he got on, before he picked up the microphone to speak. Now this is a situation, a country where just when doctors were running abroad for better life, to get a better living, our legislators were talking about preventing them by making it a little bit tougher for doctors. And now we have those within the corridors of power, because that's what the governor represents, saying, okay, since we can't stop them, since people are saying, okay, let's not stop them from going, let's push them out and then make some money off it. Now, you did say something about the employment. They call most hospitals have limited number to be employed. That's according to the government, right?
Yes.
So why can't they expand the window so they get to employ more?
Now, the thing is this. One thing the government should be focusing on now is that what are the reasons why these doctors are jackmining? How do we make them stay? Now, some hospitals now, when they want to recruit doctors now, or any medical practitioner, they will advise you, they will tell you to sign a bond that you will stay for 3 years.
Oh, they do that now?
Yes. You stay for
when,
3
years. When?
It's not like they will just, it's an undertone conversation. Okay. Even when you are doing the interview, they tell you, after 3 years, you are not within 3 years, you are not allowed to travel. If you want to travel, you will not get a letter from us. We will not give you letter. Because if, as a doctor, if you want to go travel out of the country, your present employer will actually give them a letter that you are working. So they will tell you, if you go there within 3 years, they will not give you. So that is one of the bounding things that are making them to stay. It's a good idea, and also not really a good idea. Now, what are you doing to make them stay and not to look outside? First of all, doctors have been clamoring for increase in salary for over how many years? And the government have not done anything to it. They will come and say, our salary, please increase this one. If they increase this one, they will say, no, it's not enough. Why? Because the salary doctors have been receiving over 10 years ago, their salary structure over 10 years ago, is still the same one that they are still receiving now. Now, employment in Nigeria is something like an under G thing in government hospitals now. It's an under G thing. If they come out and bring out that we need 20, we come out and advertise, and they don't even really do public advertisement for employment again. Have you seen any newspaper that say one hospital is recruiting? No, it's under G. Just go submit your application and they call you, and you do.
So once you know someone.
Once you know someone, and the space for employment is limited. They have limited amenities where doctors can practice. Why are doctors traveling now? Because of poor working environment. We have experienced doctors, good doctors, but they don't have environment to work. They don't have good theater to do their surgeries. They don't have good hospitals. They don't even have where to even dispense drugs and everything. So that's why they'd rather go get good working environment, and they're comfortable, they're happy working. So employment in Nigeria and for doctors should be one of the major concerns. How do we make them stay? How do we reform the health sector? How do we make sure that this health sector is being reformed? And another thing is the corruption in this CMDs, the head of hospitals, is very high, because there are instances where there are ghost workers.
Okay.
From this CMDs, there's an allocation given to them. Probably you have to recruit 50. But the head of the government of the hospitals might recruit like 30. The remaining 20, where are they? They are receiving salaries from where? Nowhere.
Oh wow.
Those workers
So it's corruption that is killing the system, not even availability of the doctors.
Corruption has killed the health sector, even right from the health minister to the CMD to the head of every department in the hospital. They will give you write a letter, you want to recruit, you want to refurbish this place, and you go there and give them substandard materials, substandard medical equipment. It has eaten down into the health sector. So the corruption in the leadership of the hospitals should be checked into.
Yeah.
They will give them recruit 50 people. From 50 they recruit 20, they recruit 10, they recruit the remaining 30. Where are they? They give them money, they give them funds to refurbish the hospital, buy medical equipment, but they will not buy it.
All right then. Well, this is it gets even more disheartening as it is. But I've been made to understand that our virtual guest might be timed out anytime soon. So let's just get your thoughts again, concluding as we make to wrap up the show. Let me start off with Nick, please. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So my concluding thoughts are that there are a lot of problems in Nigeria, and the leaders in Nigeria just need to get down to work to solve Nigeria's problems. It's not enough to make headlines by coming to drop one remark. In fact, I wanted to say stupid remark, but he's a governor. So let me know. So governance is not by making headlines, by coming to say one thing or the other. These guys don't need to bend down and get their job done. Governor Bala Mohammed that is talking, he's the chief executive of the state. Why is he making this thing look as if he's a public affairs analyst like ourselves? Let him get down to business. Implement this exportation of doctor system so that other states can copy from him.
Oh, he should, wow, get down to business. He should do it.
Exactly. In places like in other climes, if he successfully implements this solution, and now Batu State is earning humongous money from foreign exchange by exporting doctors, they will tag this thing the Bala Mohammed solution that will last for hundreds of years to come. So why is he not just getting down to business and doing it, and instead he's behaving as if he's a public affairs analyst?
All right, that's a hilarious one. That's a hilarious one. John, please, your concluding thoughts.
Thank you, Moses. I think Bala Mohammed must have taken a clue from Uzodinma during the campaign era. And this is also a call out to Imo people. How many of those 4,000 youths have gotten a job in Europe now? The election is done and concluded. So I'm still asking Imo youth, how many of you have that job in Europe as friends of Uzodinma? But Moses, all of this point to one thing that I've been saying. that we have a systemic error. Until that system is fixed, every other part of the system gets their healing. Once that system is fixed, every other part gets their healing. So what is that thing that we Moses? Transparency, accountability. These two. Once we are transparent, we are releasing this amount of money to health sector. Health sector, this is your budget. This is the content. So Moses is transparent. You know the company supplying you health materials. You know the company supplying your hospitals bed. If these beds are not of the best quality or standard, you can sue that company. Do you understand? So until we get to a point where we have a transparent system of governance and we have accountability, if you are found culpable, please dance your makosa alone and go and collect your 2 portion of rice, so that other people will learn from you. Lastly, Moses, this country will get it right, but we need to have a hall of shame. All of shame. Let foreigners who come to Nigeria come and visit that hall of shame and see those our heroes past that have messed up themselves and disgraced their family and their names, and they can see their names and their footprint on the wall in that hall of shame. But in all, we'll learn and Nigeria will get better. But from me to you, Moses, God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, John Akirile, and please do stay safe. I know why I asked the question. Well, I'm not going to respond to Nick there, but do stay safe. All right. And once again, we've been speaking with John Akirile and Nick Agule, both public affairs commentator. Well, we still have Dr. Olawale allowed to be with us in the building.
Yes.
David,
okay,
you
yeah,
ask
I wanted to find out, or not even find out, still ask. We've had this two analysts say things about having corruption, and even you affirmed it, corruption in the system. There's a saying that says we are a reflection of who we have at the top. Now, what do you propose at this time to be done in the medical system that will not, going back to the conversation, that will not warrant such comments from such executive anytime soon again?
What we need to do first, corruption. How do we solve corruption in Nigeria? It's not only in the health sector, it's everywhere in Nigeria. First thing we need to do, and corruption starts from we yourself. Let's forget about the politicians. If you are giving a certain amount of money, how are you being able to manage this money without you even eating? I was seeing a news whereby they gave someone thrift money, and the person collected the thrift and blocked everybody and ran away. That is corruption. You say, so if you are giving a project to do, did you use substandard materials to do this project? Did you use proper materials to do this project? If you use substandard material, you collected money for this, that is corruption. Now, in the medical sector, what we need to do now is this. We need to have a checkmate, a checking body that is checking these hospitals. Every hospital has a board. Every general hospital, every government, they have a board members. Okay. Now, what are these board members doing? Nothing. They will just come when they want to recruit, and they will pick their own candidates. That this is what I want, this person I want, this is what I want. They come, any share, any money. They don't do any other thing again. The responsibility of this board, or this is, okay, fine, they should have a committee. Go and check every department, check everything. What are they doing? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? And the CND should be like, what this thing you are doing, accountable of anything he's not doing. But no, the board and the CNDs, they are pals. So they are almost all eating the money together.
I just want to pause you there. The Nigerian Medical Association, is that not part of the union that house every single doctor?
No, there's even a rift in medical practitioners. Okay. Nigerian Medical Association are there. The Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors are also there.
Okay.
Now, we are talking about the health sector together. We are not even talking about doctors now.
All right.
We are talking about the nurses. Nurses are there. Pharmacists are there. Physiotherapists are there. Everybody all encompassed. So, if you focus on Nigeria Association of Medical Doctors, the JOSU, that's the Joint Health Organization, will come out and say, no, why are you favoring them? We are not favoring us. So, it's a thing of all the health sector, regardless of your profession, as far as the fact that you work in the hospital, even you are the cleaner, you are part of this sector, because everybody is important in this sector. So what we should do now is there should be a unity amongst these health agencies, health organizations, NME, they should come together and have a voice. And what is the voice? End corruption in the health sector. Okay. And when they end this corruption in the health sector, everything will be solved well. Every of their problem is going to be solved. Because let me tell you for free, the problem we are facing in the health sector is corruption.
Corruption. That's a problem of Nigeria. That's a problem, and it is eating deep, of course. Well, we must say thank you very much, Dr. Olawale Olatubi. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your robust analysis. We do appreciate. I was going to talk about the 150 beds that was shot in Luth, and wards. We hear that five wards were shot. 150 beds. The wards contain about 150 beds. That just means 150 people that might be seeking medical attention have been deprived by that. But anyway, we'll probably talk about that one another time. You've said it all. Corruption is the problem. Well, thank you very, very much. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have business on the table. Stay with us. welcome back. So let's get into the world of business now quickly. Microsoft briefly usurped Apple to become the world's biggest company by market value on Thursday, as the boom in artificial intelligence brought a new twist to the decade-long rivalry between the two big tech groups. Now, the software company's shares climbed around 1% in early trading on Thursday to take its market value to $2.87 trillion, just ahead of the iPhone maker, whose shares fell by almost 1%. By midday in New York, Apple had retaken the top spot as the broader market turned lower. At the close of trading in New York, Apple remained ahead at $2.89 trillion compared to Microsoft's $2.86 trillion. Investors' excitement about the new wave of generative AI has fueled a rally in the shares of Microsoft, which is the biggest backer of OpenAI, the maker of the popular AI-powered chatbot ChatGPT. Away from that business story to another one very quickly too. The market capitalization of the Nigerian Exchange Limited depreciated for the first time in the new year. At the close of trading on Wednesday, the 8-day rally in the market was halted as the market cap dipped by about 638 billion naira to close at 44.885 trillion naira. This is coming a day after the market cap crossed the 45 trillion naira milestone. Although the benchmark index of the exchange, the all share index, remained above 80,000 points, it shared 1,167.46 points, or 1.40%, to close at 84,024.38 on Wednesday. Impacted by the depreciation were banking stocks, most of which suffered a loss, except for Jay's Bank, which defied the trend to appreciate by 5.40% to 2.93 trillion naira, and Stanbic IBTC Holdings, which closed flat. Well, meanwhile, the market capitalization of Access Holdings, PLC, and First Bank of Nigeria Holdings dropped below 1 trillion naira a day after the lenders crossed the milestone. They closed the market with a capitalization of 989 billion naira and 926 billion naira, respectively. The downturn in the equity market comes a day after the anti-graft agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, questioned some banks' managing directors over a fraud that was uncovered at the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Well, those are the business stories we have at the moment. And Masinachi has the scoop on entertainment. So let's take it away. We'll be back for that one.
Welcome back. On entertainment this morning, Davido is on the news again. The mother of Davido's child, Imade Sophia Momodu, has issued a cease and desist order against the singer. In a document through her lawyers, she accused the singer of cyberbullying, harassment, and threat to her life. And the document also stated that the singer had paid blogs to publish false statements about her. Now, the document stressed that there had been previous emails to the singer's legal team regarding the matter, which had been ignored. Going on, they stated that Davido would be held responsible if anything happens to Momodu. And then, now, this petition is coming after Tiwa Savage wrote a petition as well, telling the police against Davido on similar claims. She also alleged that he threatened her life because of her friendship with his baby mama and requested that the Lagos State Police look into it in response. Now, the police launched investigations into the matter. And I don't think that the video has said anything about it. But moving on, veteran actress, a Nollywood actress, Ngozi Ezeonu, has debunked reports that she is dead. Now, the actress in the video on her Instagram page said she's alive and healthy. She was reacting to reports on social media that stated that she had passed on. According to her, her previous post in which she posted a candle was a tribute to a friend she recently lost. Another one, very dark man, is on the news. The very dark, fine. Is he really fine? I don't know if he's fine, Sha. But he's on the news again, and then he has disclosed that Tonto Dike should be held responsible if anything happens to him. Now, you may recall that very dark man was dragged to the police by Dike over his claim that the actress and her colleague Iyabo Ojo's interest in late singer Mohbad's case weren't genuine. However, he was later released after interrogation. Speaking of that, the interrogation, after he gained his freedom, in a video message shared through his X handle, very dark man alleged that DK has been threatening his life. He stated that he now lives in constant fear. Very dark man living in constant fear? Moses, how possible is that? The ever fearless
everyone is
guy.
accusing everyone else of threats to life. All right, let's just stop accusing. Let's just stop threatening people, please. This is no good for anybody, actually.
I'm shocked that he's saying that he's scared for his life. I mean, he's still always very bold and trying to, show himself and say everything that he sees on social media, and he's saying that he's scared of his life.
Well, he's
he
feels that, well,
you don't want to say anything.
I feel well, let's about Davido and Tiwa Savage and Sophia. I think they should find a way to resolve it because whatever the case may be, Sophia remains the mother of Davido's first child. Yeah, so I think they should find a way to resolve it. Tiwa Savage's involvement is what I still don't understand yet. But for Sophia to come out to say she's also writing a petition against Davido, I particularly think she was prompted to do so.
You think so?
I think she was prompted to do so. But whatever the case may be, I mean, they've had this long, back and forth for a long time. They should find a way to resolve it and, just live.
I honestly share the same thoughts because I believe, well, they're adults first off.
Yeah.
And all of their decisions is them to be held responsible for it. At this point, I also believe that they should find a way to sort it out.
And people feel Sophia still has feelings for Davido. Is that
feelings, or probably
she just wants to be on his face? Envy?
Could it be envy? I don't know. I'm just saying. Could it be envy?
Right.
Okay.
He's moving on without me.
Like the song, "You're Happy Without Me."
Without me.
Yeah. But as I said, they should move on.
One thing I love about Chioma is that she would possibly never even say anything about this.
And that's a good thing.
She's so mature.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Stay off these things because the more you talk, the more social media will twist it.
True.
And the more problems you would have.
Yeah.
So it's best to just keep mum.
Okay, so our final segment on the show this morning is going to be this odds update from David. But before that, let's take a breather.
Audio Jungle.
All right, welcome back. Let's dive into the world of sports in about a few minutes. It's no more news. The Super Eagles are already in Ivory Coast, waiting for the first game to happen this Sunday. But there are some feelers that some strikers, and I'm talking about one other striker, is going to be out of the tournament. Umar Sadiq remained absent from training once again on Thursday as the Super Eagles intensify their preparations for the upcoming 2023 African Cup of Nations under the management of Jose Pizarro. Now the team is gearing up for their opening game, A fixtures against the Zilang Nationals of Equatorial Guinea at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Mbipe, Abidjan, scheduled for Sunday. Now, his teammates at the École Nationale the police on Wednesday was notably not part of the training on Thursday, and that is practically leaving Victor Osimhen as the only out-and-out striker for the upcoming game. And moving on from that, still staying with the Super Eagles, there are also indications that Jose Pizarro might just call up, what's his name again? I'm talking about Cyril Dessers, the striker with Rangers. In a connected development, the prognosis of Sadiq Umar's fitness is not optimistic, but raising concerns about the potential exclusion of the striker. But reports suggest that Cyril Dessers is the likely replacement for that particular young man. The forwards lineup of the Super Eagles is facing challenges with two accomplished strikers potentially sidelined for the competition, not forgetting the fact that Victor Boniface is out of this one and is not looking good for the strikers of the Super Eagles. All right, quickly, let's still, continue with the Super Eagles because, hey, they are our primary assignment as far as the AFCON tournament is concerned. Now, the goalkeeper's position is becoming really, really feisty and interesting. In a stellar display at the training yesterday, on Thursday, the Super Eagles goalkeepers, and I'm talking about Francis Uzoho, Olorunleke Ojo, and Stanley Nwabali, showed their skills during the training session, showing too well and giving a very, very good problem for the handlers of the Super Eagles, and of course giving them too many to talk about, and of course confusion on who to pick as the number one come Sunday when we face Equatorial Guinea. Well, that's about it in the world of sports because of our time. But I'd like to ask again, what do you guys think at this point, having to lose, well, most likely the first game of the tournament, another striker in the person of Umar Sadiq?
Oh, well, we have the others there.
Well, just as it stands, just Victor Osimhen.
So I believe Osimhen should be able to mark his name and do what he has to do. I mean, he should be able to do that.
God forbid Osimhen getting injured in training today.
Well, God forbid.
All right, that's about it for the world of sports.
And that's it for the show, actually. This is where we wrap it up. But don't forget, we still have a whole lot more coming your way, yeah?
Yeah, the 9 o'clock news, and then the entertainment, that's the spotlight. A lot of programs lined up just for you. And do not forget to join us on YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live.
All right, so as you go out today, as you go into the weekend, no look for trouble. They say no grief for anybody, but no look for trouble. No find trouble. But that's it from me. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I'm Masenachi Okafor.
And I am David Edwin. Always don't forget to pray for Nigeria because there is no great nation like ours. Well, we'll come your way again same time tomorrow, God willing. Have an amazing day ahead. God bless Nigeria.